Hey guys, welcome back to the Press Box Bros podcast. Before this episode starts, I would like to give another thank you to NIST for partnering with me and for sponsoring this episode of the Press Box Bros podcast. They make slingshots and really awesome slingshots. I've had the grand opportunity to test some of them out. They have just released some new bands and some new ball sizes for you guys to shoot. So go check them out online. Just type in NIST at NIST. And their slingshot should come right up. They cost around $11.59 per slingshot. So make sure you go check them out and let's get right into the podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Press Box Bros podcast. My name is Seth Chason. Unfortunately, Micah cannot be with us today. He will be absent for a couple episodes. But today, I've got a very, very special guest with me here today over the phone is Adam Varga, a member of the OHL's Ottawa 67s. Adam, how are you doing today?
Doing very well. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. It's an honor. So we talked about this for a couple seconds before starting recording, but how does it feel to be home?
Feels different. I was expecting to be home in June, hoping for a long playoff run, but due to the virus, we got sent home last week, and it's kind of weird being here in March, kind of as a non-playoff team now. But it's always nice being back home with the family and friends. So.
Oh yeah, I mean can't be with friends right now.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta practice social distancing.
Yeah. So that's why we're doing a FaceTime. So, what is it like? So, for the people who don't know what it's like, what is it like to be a junior pro hockey player?
It's definitely a unique experience. You know, always growing up, my dream was never to be it was never a dream of mine to go play college hockey. It's always just been go to the OHL since I was a very young age. So the first game I went to the OHL game in Sarnia Sting versus the Windsor Spitfires, and that's where I just fell in love with the league and told my parents that this is where I want to play in my future. So just always playing, and when I got to Washington to play for the Little Caps, I just kept working to achieve my dream, and then my coach told me that the Mississauga Steelheads were interested in me, so that was very good news to hear. So I kept going, and then they suddenly contacted me and told me all about the program. And then in the draft, I was in Nationals in Arizona with the Little Caps, and I got drafted by the Steelheads in the 7th round, and that was the dream come true, but it was only the start. So I went to training camp in August for the Mississauga Steelheads, and I wasn't expecting to make the team because they had players like Michael McLeod, Nathan Bastian, Nick Hag. They're all NHL prospects. They got drafted that year. And then so I wasn't expecting to make it due to the talent that they already had. So went up there, had a really good first game. And the next morning, coach told me that he had a spot for me on the roster. So I was just mind blown. I didn't know what to do. And then I discussed with my parents. And being 16, you can't really lose advantage of that opportunity. So I signed with them, and yeah, it's come a very long way. These 3 years have been the best years of my life, just being in Canada, living my dream basically. So it's been awesome.
That's got to be awesome. I mean, and you're somewhat of a hometown hero in Bel Air. How do you handle that?
It's cool. It's definitely cool. Just being someone those kids look up to. It's definitely cool. I remember when I was younger, I was skating around Ice World, and then there's a guy by the name of Greg Betzold. He played for the Peterborough Petes, and he was skating, and I was like, whoa. I was looking up to him, so followed him, and then, it's cool being that guy now, being that guy the kids look up to, being the guy that gets asked for autographs and pictures, so it's definitely cool. So, but again, I gotta take advantage of that and just keep moving forward and keep on motivating the kids.
Oh yeah, it's a big job. Unfortunately, I have not had the bit of fame due to injuries, but
for sure.
So what is the most difficult part about playing in the OHL or playing in a junior league?
For me, at first, it was kind of just being away from home. Being around 400 miles, 8 hours away from home, that was the toughest part. I'm just homesick week to week, but I got over it, and it's just hockey, but it's a different type of hockey up there. Like there's a rink on every block, and so there's high expectations on you, and just the talent that's up there is unreal. There's already guys dropped in the NHL. Some of the foreign players that already played, they're already playing in the NHL, such as Robert Thomas. He won the Stanley Cup with the St. Louis Blues last year. So, yeah, that's the big part. Is the challenging part is just playing against big guys that have lots of talent and skill.
So, talking about talent and skill, you've got the opportunity to play with Marco Rossi. What was that opportunity like?
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. He's an awesome dude. He's really nice, and just being with them day to day, like his work ethic is something else. He's always in the gym working hard. He's always one of the first ones on the ice, one of the last ones on the ice. But just watching him, watching his skill, the talent he has is something amazing. He's definitely one of the best players I played with. But his leadership is another important quality. Just being a European player. His English is very good, by the way. He just leads by example.
Do you have advice for young hockey players looking to go pro and signing with the right team?
The advice I'd give is just keep focusing on your craft and keep working hard. But the most important thing is just having fun. Like to do the thing you love, you gotta have fun with it, and you always gotta smile and have faith in what you're doing. There's times in my season with the Little Caps where I didn't think I was doing very well, but you just gotta keep faith and keep moving forward through all the challenges and obstacles. And once that opportunity comes, whether it's major, junior, junior A, junior B, or the college route, whichever route feels best for you, like do what your heart desires. And once you get to that level, you can't stop. You just gotta keep moving forward. And that's the main part. Is if you want to go professional, you just gotta keep pushing your foot on the pedal and perfecting your craft.
So I know you've been to plenty of stick and pucks at Ice World. What other things do you do to get better and make yourself the player you are today?
For stick and pucks, well, I usually go ski in the mornings with Ed Slusher, director of hockey at Ice Road. So I always skate with him in the mornings from 7 to 9, and we usually just work on my skating, my power skating, because my real asset in hockey is my speed. So just my straightforward speed's really good right now, but right now we're trying to work on that east to west game. So trying to get from one point of the ice to the other, moving side to side. So that's a big thing we work on, and we also work on things like change the angle of my shot, so it's deceptive and hard to stop for the goalies.
That's definitely a important skill, the speed, because you see today in the NHL, there are a lot of speedsters, and they're at the top of the league, like McDavid. He's arguably, I call him the second best player because of Crosby, but you see the guys like that who are just speedsters. Is that something you can work on, or is it something you're born with?
I'd say it's a bit of both, honestly. For me, I'd probably say it's kind of genetic. My parents were very good athletes and good runners, so I had a lot of speed at a very young age, like just being at recess. Nobody could catch me playing football, so I was always the fastest kid. But growing up, I just kept getting faster and faster, and it's definitely something I work on. My stride, my angle of my stride, and just building the power in your legs. So it's definitely a bit of both, I'd say.
For a lot of athletes, you have to have a pregame ritual or pregame just a, you know what I mean, a pregame kind of pump up or rituals you do. What is your typical game day ritual?
For me, these past 3 years, I didn't really have, in Mississauga, I didn't really have a specific pregame. We just always had pregame meals with the team. But when I came to Ottawa, this is just a great organization with lots of help and resources. So I was working with my strength trainer there, and he was telling me on ways I could develop my game. And one of the things is sometimes I'm going too fast and thinking too fast. So you he just recommended that I like stay calm. And one of the things he says is, be fast and think slow. So with that, he like suggested that I do like meditation to slow down my brain. So we did that, and yeah. So the routine I have now is we usually play 2 o'clocks on the weekends, and I wake up 9 o'clock in the morning, go and have some breakfast. Then after breakfast, I go back upstairs, turn the lights off, try to limit all the light in my room, and just meditate for around 15 minutes, 20 minutes to visualize what I'm going to do on the ice and stuff like that. And then once that's off, take a shower, pregame shower, quick Starbucks run, iced coffee. One of my teammates put me on that, and definitely helps just getting your mind into it and get dialed in. And then just go with my pregame warm up, just doing the same things, making sure the hips are loose, making sure legs feel light, and yeah, just before I go on the ice for warm-ups or a game, I just always pray. That's one of the big things for me, is just praying and having faith in God. So that's just one of the big parts of my game, is just having faith and praying before a game, and then once the national anthem's over, just take 3 deep breaths and get dialed in.
Now, talking about the success of the 67s, you guys had a long win streak. It was 18 games, right?
I think it was 17 or 18, one of those.
And so what contributed to that success? Was it just like, obviously it had to be a team effort, but like, did everyone click in at the right time?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was definitely at the crazy long streak. And so I was in Mississauga the start of November, and we were losing a bunch of games. And so that's the time I got traded to Ottawa. And then once I got traded to Ottawa, played my first game in Saginaw, we lost that game. And so I was like, man, I just need a long winning streak. I told everyone, well, let's just go on a big heater. And so next 17 games, yeah, just something clicked. We just all came together, and we just came together after that loss and just thought of ways that we can be better. And we worked on that and practiced the next day and just keep moving forward. We had that mentality of just doing the same things, following our structure, and it worked for us. So that was just the main thing, coming together and just being the brotherhood, and the main goal of winning a championship.
So unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity to make that championship or go to the playoffs. So you guys were cut 8 games short. What are you looking for next year? Is next year's team going to be like as good, or do you think it'll be a little tougher next year?
No, I think we still got great talent. We're a young team now. So the year before I came here, the 67s, they went on a great streak. They just had a solid team. They had great overage players, and in playoffs, I believe they went 14 games winning without losing. So they made it all the way to the finals, won the first 2 games, and then their goalie, Mike DiPietro, got injured and lost the next 4 games. So I know that stuck with them, and that was just their main motivation for this year, is just overcoming what they had to deal with last year to finally winning it. And so that's what we have this year. We had great momentum. We really believe that we go all the way to the finals and win it all. And unfortunately, due to the virus, that happened. And then we lost great players again. Joseph Garefa, Keating, Hoffenmeyer, and a bunch of other guys, like you said, like Marco Ross. He might make the jump to the NHL next season. So it's gonna be tough losing those guys. But again, we got a great core full of young guys with lots of skill, and we're just, as a leader now, being a 4th-year guy, I'm just gonna have to lead and just lead like those guys taught me in my previous years, and hopefully lead to a long run again. And I definitely believe that we could do it again for sure.
Now, what was your mindset when you got traded? Were you excited, or were you kind of like indifferent?
I'd say a bit of both. Just being in Mississauga for 2 years, being away from home, that became my second home. Just being in that greater Toronto area, hockey's huge there, and made a lot of friends. And with my host family that took care of me, they're my second family now, and they'll be my second family for life. And still keep in touch with them every day. And I actually got a concussion the week before I got traded. So, yeah, that was my last game is getting concussed. And then I got traded the morning of after our Michigan trip, because we went to the Michigan trip, and like I just wanted to go to do something and not stay occupied. So after that Michigan trip, I got the call the next morning that I got traded, and my agent told me that. So that's the news I woke up to, and my first just excitement and shock. It's different. So I had to tell my billets that I got traded, and they all started crying. So that was the toughest part. And then I had to pack all my bags within 2 hours, and then head to the rink and say goodbye to all my buddies in Mississauga. And so, yeah, it was just tough. But then I got picked up by the Ottawa bus, and by a Tim Hortons. They were waiting for me there, so they picked me up, and we went to Michigan. And that's where the bond started to develop. And, yeah, it's my new set of brothers now and the team I roll with. So, yeah.
Who's the first person you talked to after that trade?
I'd say it's definitely my mom. My mom's always been there by my side, and she's been the one that supported me all this way. And that was just the first person I talked to, and she said that it's a great opportunity for you, and you start, so you just got to take advantage of it.
Now, how was that first trip to Ottawa? So it's a new city, it's a new place, new team. Was it uncomfortable? Yeah. Was it like instant connection?
No, I actually trained in Ottawa during the summer 2 years ago when I skated like players like Claude Giroux and other NHL players there, and I don't know, it just felt like I was gonna be there one day, and so it eventually happened. And another thing that was a part of it, the guys that drafted me in Mississauga, general managers, they actually left to go to Ottawa that summer. So they always had their eye on me and scouted me throughout my first 2 years in Mississauga, and they finally made the move to get me. So it's definitely not a weird feeling, but felt comfortable just having that support system. And again, like, my first year, there was 3 guys who got traded to Ottawa from Mississauga, and I just texted them, and they also comforted me by saying, "Oh, it's a great opportunity for you. It's a really professional organization." So that definitely helped with my transition.
Now, growing up, obviously you played with North Stars and you played with a number of other teams. Who is the one person, like either professional or semi-pro, that you kind of looked up to and you wanted to be them?
There's a number of them. Just being in that DMV area, just looking up to Washington Capitals, like players like Ovechkin, Backstrom, just players like that. They motivated me to play the game even more, and just having that first-hand experience of watching them play and seeing them practice was definitely a big motivation for me. So I definitely say it's those 2 guys with Backstrom and Ovechkin, which really motivated me. And just growing up, like trying to find different players that I can emulate my game after. So I started looking after fast players like Carl Hagelin, Kasperi Kapanen, and players like that I can kind of emulate my game after that. So, there's a ton of guys that I look up to.
So what was the first notification or sign that you got that you wanted to go to like play juniors rather than college?
So I had college interest from teams like Minnesota Duluth, Miami of Ohio, University of Alabama Huntsville, but it was never like something like too serious. So Mississauga was actually the first team that really, really wanted me. Like, they were texting me and calling me every 2 to 3 weeks, and that's when I knew like that they really wanted me. And so I got drafted by them, and then later in June there was the USHL draft, and I got drafted by the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. And Cedar Rapids, they didn't really contact me beforehand, or they actually called me 2 days after the draft, so it just didn't really seem appealing to me, and so I went to Mississauga, and that was the best option for me.
Now, when you went to Mississauga for the first time, you mentioned that you had a host family. What was that like, kind of learning to live with different people rather than your family?
Yeah, it was definitely different. Like I said, I had to say goodbye to my family. Third day of training camp, and I just kept bawling, crying, kind of feeling homesick that I didn't really have the opportunity to say goodbye to all my friends and family down in Bel Air. But it was just the start of a new chapter in my life, and so I knew it was going to be a bright chapter. So made the team, and then they found me a billet family within 2 days, and then I went to their house, and they have 3 kids, 3 younger kids, so I was the kind of big brother family now, which I'm used to being little brother family. So I was the big brother now, and as David went on, I just kept building that kind of family vibe with them, and now they're my second family. So still keep in touch every day. I literally called them in the morning today to see how they're doing, and they're doing great. So I'm probably gonna visit them this summer, and yeah.
That's awesome. Now, when you were younger, was there a certain coach that stood out to you with like either trying to help you or motivated you or just like went that extra mile and that you look up to?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely a lot of great coaches growing up. They really saw the potential in me, and they wanted to help me get better. But one of the biggest influencers was the coach I had for Hershey. Played for the Hershey Junior Bears Quebec team. That was an amazing experience, just playing in the Quebec Pee Wee tournament. And my coach was actually the general manager of the Hershey Bears at the time, so he really knew the game, and he gave us the Hershey Bears system and structure they play with, and gave it to us. So we had like a full playbook we had, and he really taught me the game well. And he was just different. He was a unique person. He was strong. He was just a great coach. He never raised his voice at us. He just wanted to have fun and have the greatest experience that we could have. So, he's definitely one of the biggest influencers in my game today.
So, as you mentioned before, you played for a number of minor clubs like North Stars, Little Caps. What was your favorite team to play for?
I'd say it was either Hershey Junior Bears Quebec was cool. Just playing at the Giants Center before every Hershey Bears game, and then going to the Bears game afterwards. It was just a great experience. And then I played there for 2 years. I was lucky enough to play up, and my first year that we went to the Quebec Pee Wee tournament, it was a great experience. First game we played, we lost, but we played in front of so many fans, and that kind of gave me all like the junior mentality, and like just being at a Quebec major junior hockey rink with all those fans. It's definitely awesome. And then my second year, I was named captain of the team, and then we went up to Quebec again, and our first game was against Slovakia, which was kind of cool because that's my roots. My whole family, they're from Slovakia, and so just playing them, it was cool. So third period, I had a natural hat trick against them, and just had chills the whole game afterwards. So that was definitely a great experience. But playing for Little Caps was another cool thing because we played at the Capitals practice facility, and again, we got the first hand of the Capitals practicing and stuff like that. So that was definitely one of the great years of hockey as well.
So have you ever gotten to meet an NHL player before?
I met a bunch. Just like being Little Caps, like I always went to and asked for autographs and pictures. Players like Jakub Vrana, Vitek Vanacek, like they had development camp there. So me and my mom, we actually went and spoke to them in Slovak. So that was a cool thing. And then just growing up, I've definitely met a lot of NHL players now. Just being a major junior. There's a couple guys that, like Josh Anderson of Columbus Blue Jackets, and at the Seo, they didn't sign their contracts last year. Like at the start of the season, they were holding out and they were practicing with us in Mississauga. And when I trained in Ottawa 2 summers ago, I skated with Mackenzie Weegar of Florida Panthers, and then Kyle Turris. I talked to him for a bit in the gym, and then JG Pajot. There's solid senators working out there in the summer, and that just showed me like that pro mentality that they have, just trying to get better and being the best version of themselves.
It's pretty neat. So Adam, for everyone out there listening, tell us what it felt like to score that first OHL goal.
Yeah, it was cool. It was one of the best experiences I ever had in my life. I actually have a kind of like a name of. There's 3 pictures of me shooting, celebrating and then having that big smile with the puck right in the middle. So, yeah, it definitely took a while for me. It was 16-year-old season. It's definitely always hard. It's always hard because you're not getting a lot of playing time, and you just got to keep confident, take advantage of any opportunity you had. And so it was family day, and packed stadium, and then third period, 10 minutes left. I was on the forecheck, and they kind of bobbled the puck, and so I just shot it, eyes closed, kind of, and it just went in. So
Just basically hoping it goes in.
It was just a big sign of relief, like the monkey off the shoulder, and just like that celebration that I had just came out of me. It was very emotional, and going back and seeing all the smiles of all the fans' faces and all my teammates. So it was one of the best experiences.
So you said it mentioned it was family night, so I'm assuming your parents were there for that game?
My parents were actually at home. They were waiting. They were listening on the radio, and then family day, it's kind of like I forget it's like February 19th. It's like we have Labor Day maybe?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, something like that. But like they call it Family Day up there. So a bunch of families just came to the game, but my parents were listening on the radio.
Must have been a special experience for them to hear their son score a goal, score his first goal. Yeah, what was their reaction? I'm assuming their ambush barrage of texts and calls.
Yeah. After the game, I checked my phone. There's texts from everyone down in Bel Air. It just made me feel really, really happy. And then I FaceTime my parents, and they're so excited. They're already drinking wine and champagne with my aunt and uncle here. So they're thrilled for me to finally score that goal.
Yeah, it's got to be a hard process to score that first goal. Are you like a pass first kind of guy and put others before you scoring your own goal?
Yeah, when I was for Little Caps, I scored a lot of goals. Just had 50 goals in maybe 42 games. So I was just used to scoring every game, and then I came into one of the best junior leagues in the world, not the best. And I kind of had to change up my game, change up my roles. So, I'm always just trying to develop speed off the rush and forecheck the other team. So, just always like, what's the word? Just always being there and like scoring that goal for your team is always something special. So, right now, like I wouldn't say I'm a pass first or shoot first. It's always looking for the best option that I have, and whenever I get the chance to shoot, I just got to shoot it. Sometimes I pass too much, or sometimes I don't shoot quick enough. So it's all really mental as well. You just got to believe and have faith that you'll do well. And then past 2 years, I scored 6 my last year, and I scored 7 this year, and I'm hoping for a big breakout year in my 4th year.
That's always going to be a big thing. So what is it like knowing you're in EA Sports NHL? Like what thought goes through your mind when you first heard that you'd be in a video game?
Yeah, it's cool. My first year, I was joking around with my once I got drafted by Mississauga, I went to Simone Wright, and I kind of joked around with all my buddies. I'm like, oh, you guys going to be playing as me in a video game next year. So I was kind of joking around, not thinking that I'd be in it this upcoming year. So, yeah, my first year was just as soon as the game came out and the update came out, I started playing myself and scored as many goals as I can with myself in the game. And then, but the thing was, I didn't really have a headshot in the game, so didn't really have my picture in the game yet. So I just waited for the next year, and then next year my face was finally in it. And I always got Snapchats from all my friends, like taking a picture of my face on the game. So it's definitely a cool experience to be in a game and not really having to create yourself anymore, just having to boost your ratings up a little. So
yeah, it's always annoying when you have to, create your player again and again and again because you're like, I don't feel like playing like with this team anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So changing tracks here, what was your favorite NHL video game?
Question. There's this one game that they had, I can't remember which year, it was kind of like a mini rink, and they had big heads on the guys, and all you could do is just run around and hit people. So
I think I know what you're talking about.
That was great.
Was that one for the Wii?
Maybe it was, yeah.
Because they had NHL Slapshot, which was for the Wii.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that one, though.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but those were my favorite for sure.
Oh, the good old games. So what is it like kind of living in Ottawa? I know Canada's it's a nice area. How different is it from the United States and Maryland?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Just going from Bel Air to Mississauga. Mississauga is a greater part of Toronto, so huge city, skyscrapers all around, and it was definitely different. The hockey aspect as well. Hockey's not big at all down here, and going there, everyone's all about it. Like you start to get recognized and stuff like that. So it was cool going from Mississauga, Toronto, and then I went to Ottawa, and yeah, Ottawa's a pretty big town, pretty big place, but it's also small at the same time. So everything's pretty close to each other, and we're lucky enough to play downtown, so we get a lot of fans each and every night. So it's just special being in that city, being at the capital of Canada. So I'm lucky enough to play in both capitals, in Washington and then playing in Ottawa now. So it's definitely cool.
Have you ever been to the NHL games while you're playing up in Canada?
Yeah, so in Toronto, I caught a couple Leafs games. Those were cool. And then, yeah, in Ottawa, I actually went to a game because my buddy wanted to see his favorite player, Matt Barzal, play. And that was 2 weeks ago, and we were playing against McDavid. And it's different. It's a different environment in those arenas. But again, hockey's huge here. Hockey's huge there. But I also told all my buddies, Washington games, you got to come to a Washington game. Because still, I think Washington games are the best.
Washington Capitals and Penguins games are just unreal.
Yeah, unreal.
I went to the playoff game in 2017, I think.
Yeah.
Game 5. The Penguins were up, the Capitals came back and ended up winning that game, pushing the Penguins to a game 6 and then eventually game 7. But that was like probably one of the best games of hockey I've seen from both teams, and it was definitely a cool experience to kind of see the best guys in the world. See Crosby, Ovechkin, Flower, seeing Holtby. It was a great feeling, and especially now that you've been to games in Canada, seeing even more of the best players in the world, like McDavid and all those guys. Kind of what is it? Is it different from obviously it's different from TV, but is it like seem more real now that you are almost there and that you have a shot at the NHL and that you could soon be playing with these guys?
Yeah, it's definitely crazy to think about. Just always being young and watching those players. You're always dreaming of playing with them one day. And right now, like you said, I'm pretty close, but I'm not that close. There's still a lot of work to be put in, and I just got to keep developing my game and really showing everyone what I have. And that's why I really want to have a big breakout year this year to show everyone, because I know I have it. Just a matter of showing it, and then just hopefully I get that opportunity one day, and I know I'll take full advantage of it with just being in my dream my whole life. I'm hungry to have. I'm hungry to achieve that dream, and I'm just going to keep working.
So I looked at the roster of the Ottawa 67s the other day, and I noticed that you and 2 other people are the only people not from Ontario. What is that like, kind of being just not – is it almost like a different world, part of the world?
Yeah, it's different. Just they're all from Ontario. Most of them are from Ontario, at least, and then, like you said, a couple guys from different. I have another American on my team. He's from Columbus, and the 2 European players that we have as well. So it's definitely different jumping into a group of guys that are from Ontario. But once you keep going and getting to know them, you start to become Canadian in a way. Start saying you start saying Canadian stuff. So
I can kind of hear it in your voice now.
Yeah.
But what was the best thing that that you've seen from either your game or aspects of life since kind of moving away from kind of home and living on your own in Canada for a while?
Yeah, just going from home, like being next to your parents and stuff like that, and just going to a normal high school, like Simone, right? It's different. I went up there. I kind of had to become more mature, and definitely helped me in maturing. So just going to school, making sure you get your work done. Yeah, it's a different way of life. You're doing online courses and starting to have to take care of yourself more, and just like taking care of your body through a long season. So it's a big change that you have to get used to.
So you said you went to C. Milton. So did you get a chance to play for Coach Karen Bauer for the Falls Ice Hockey Club?
No, I didn't. I was too busy with the Little Caps, and I always wish I always make this up that I wish we had a C Mountain team so we could just win state championships.
Because you guys got a lot of hockey players at C. Milton. Last year I student managed and student coached the team with Karen Bauer, and that was definitely a lot of fun, kind of seeing just kids from different schools playing.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys were from C. Milton. I think probably like 5 or 6 kids were from C. Milton, as opposed to the four guys from Falston on that team. But what is your biggest regret not like taking opportunities that back home that could have bettered you either in the future or now?
I'd say I definitely don't regret anything that I did. I believe that what I did was the best for me. Just going from Hartford North Stars, like it's tough to like, get scouted here. Like playing Double A, and you eventually have to move Triple A. So that's a big part of it, and and that sacrifice for both you and your parents. Your parents have to drive you. They drove me to Philadelphia for 1 year. They drove me to Hershey for 1 year, and then they drove me to Washington for 3 years. And that itself is difficult. Just traveling in that DC traffic, 2 hours there, 2 hours there. So that's the biggest advice I have for younger players trying to make it. It's just getting out there and sacrificing. And I know many may not have that opportunity, but it's definitely a way to get out and have more exposure to scouts and teams.
So, what is your favorite team to play against when you're in the OHL? What is your kind of like either biggest personal rival or like what team do you like to play the best against the best?
That's a good question. Definitely say that right now, playing against London, being the top 2 teams, that's always a good game, and playing at their arena, one of the best arenas in the OHL, just having a main bowl and an upper bowl. They always pack the barn with 12,000 fans or so, and it's always live in there. So just playing in front of all those people and playing in that historic arena is just something special.
So, what was it like? Because I know one of your first games in Ottawa was against Mississauga. What was that like? Was it kind of like surreal? Was it? Because I know when you play against your friends, you want to beat them. You want to like show them who's boss. Like, what was that like?
Once I got traded, I was actually in the coach's office with my Mississauga coaches, and we were just talking about it, just having shit dig, stuff like that. And then I looked on the calendar, and it said versus Ottawa on Sportsnet. Sportsnet's kind of like the ESPN of Canada. And it was on the big stage, so I was like, I'll see you guys next week. And then just seeing them at the arena on the other side and seeing that blue on the other side while I'm over here wearing red, it was definitely different. But it was a fun experience playing against my former teammates and beating them as well as sharing them out in Sportsnet games. So that was cool. And a bunch of my family and friends were watching back home on the NHL Network. And they were just happy for me. And again, they were sending me text messages. Hey, I was watching your game. So that's a cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be much different now playing for another team in a different city, and just new people. What was your favorite part about this season for Ottawa or Mississauga? What was your kind of favorite part or highlight of the season?
Just one of the memories that I had from this season was one of my first weeks in Ottawa, we were actually playing Sarnia Sting, which was my first OHL game, like I mentioned before, is that same arena that I was in. And third period, I got a great pass on the sidewall and rushed down and put a top shelf. And just that itself was cool, just picturing little Adam in the stands. Like that might be one of those kids one day, and that was a cool experience, but definitely going on that 17-game winning streak and breaking the record was definitely cool.
So, unfortunately, you guys won't be able to win or lift the potentially the Memorial Cup this year. What was your guys' goal this year? Was it to win, to come back and win after that tough loss for Ottawa last year?
Yeah, that was definitely a big team for the Winds, just coming back from that loss last season, winning it all, and going to Kelowna for the Memorial Cup and winning our third Memorial Cup for the franchise. It's different putting on that Ottawa 67 jersey and all the history that goes behind it and all the pride that it has, and just wanting to win for that city. That was a big goal for us this year, and it's just sad, like thinking about what if that, but we'll never know, and we just gotta bring this fire over to next season and show everyone that we're still the best team in the whole CHL and just win it all. So
because you guys were one of the first teams to clinch this year, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. We clinched first week of February, and the season ends March 22nd. So it's definitely weird just clinching so early. And from that point on, we knew we just had to focus on getting the game, but we always had that thoughts playoff starting and like showing out in front of everyone.
So, So you mentioned that some of the games are televised. What was it like? Do you like to record your games and kind of like watch it post?
Yeah, I actually have the OHL Live app, so after every game, I usually go watch every one of my shifts and see what I could have done differently or what I did good, and just keep on developing my game from that on. I feel like film is a great viewing point of your game and seeing what you can do better for next game.
What was like the moment you realized, oh my God, like I'm actually on TV? Like what was that first like?
Yeah, my first televised game was my first year. It was at the end of the season versus Niagara. We were televised nationally, and it was just cool. Like there's a bunch of TV stops and just having all those reporters that you listen to every game on like NHL prime nights. That's when like you're like, wow, like I'm in this league and I'm on television. Like my dreams come true.
So, what would be your dream team to be drafted by in the NHL?
Definitely Washington for sure. Just being drafted by the hometown team, that'd be amazing. Just going up, watching the team, going to the Capital One Center, playing for the Little Caps. It just means something for me, my family, Bel Air, Maryland.
Yeah, because you'd be probably the first person from Bel Air to make it.
Yeah, that'd be huge. That'd be something else, but
got to represent us Marylanders.
Hopefully one day that'd be amazing.
So, what was like this? What did this whole season mean to you? I know we've been kind of like hinting at that, but what was there like this season about for you? Was it different from last season, or was it just like?
Yeah, first two seasons, Mississauga, we just always lost first round, and it was just different going to Ottawa. It's just a much bigger organization, big fan base, really great coaches, and you just have a strong support system in Ottawa, and it develops at like they give you a lot, but they expect a lot. So we just have a great winning mentality in Ottawa, and that's what I really needed was change and winning mentality. So we just got to keep on bringing that culture next year, and I just feel that we'll do great next year.
So, what kind of things do you do? Because I know there's a lot of downtime between games or on the plane or on the bus. What do you typically fill that time with?
So being done with high school last year, moved on to college course at the University of Maryland online. So during the bus rides, I usually just did assignments, discussions, stuff like that, just to say I want to continue my education because there's always that life after hockey. So it's a big part of my goal in life is like to get my college degree and just keep working at school and then one day hopefully attaining that degree.
What are you going to school for?
Business administration right now.
Cool. Yeah. Because that's got to be a lot, definitely, because you're in a big league and you're also got to fill that time with school. And what kind of like activities do you do on the side, or is it just mainly filled with school?
Usually, like in our downtime, we usually go out because, like I said, our arena's in downtown Ottawa, so there's a lot of places to eat. So I usually hang out with the teammates. We sometimes do a team event instead of practicing. So usually instead of doing school or hockey, it's always hanging out with the guys and or my Bel Air family in Ottawa. So one of those.
What was who was your teammates you felt the closest to, or just kind of related to the most?
My first year that I had in Mississauga was special because there was like a lot of great players like Owen Tippett. He really took me under his wing. He became my big brother, and I don't know, it's just a great friendship and a bond. And again, when I left Mississauga, I felt all the love that my teammates had for me, the fans had for me, and that bond will never be broken. It's definitely something special that I'll keep forever. And then just coming to Ottawa was definitely different, having to make new friends, new teammates. But again, like we developed a really strong bond, and we actually did. It was like a fire department. Like we went to a fire department and did fire drills and stuff. That's like cool. That. So that gained that really tightened our group, and from that point on, we kind of call ourselves a brotherhood, and it's just gonna keep on going stronger as the years go on.
So hockey has controlled your life quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Have you have you like dabbled in other sports, or was it just hockey? Keep it on hockey.
Growing up, I played soccer and hockey. So I believe at the age of 11, I had to make a choice which one it was going to be. So of course I chose hockey because I loved it more. So I love soccer, but hockey's always been my number one love. So
what while you're in Ottawa, what is your kind of like go-to place to go to, like either restaurant or just any place in the city?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things to do down there. In Lansdowne where we play, we always go to the breakfast place called Sunset Grill, so that's where we always have breakfast. Going to the Parliament's also pretty cool, just seeing that big Parliament right there. It's a beautiful city. There's lots to do, and like to change it up once in a while. So
while you were out there, have you kind of been recognized on the street as Adam Varga?
Yeah, it's different than Mississauga. Mississauga, there's teams like Toronto Maple Leafs, Toronto Raptors. There's bigger teams in front of you, but in Ottawa, we're one of the top dogs, just being like with the CFL and Ottawa Senators, but they're kind of 30 minutes away from downtown, so it's different. But yeah, definitely get recognized a lot more. Like when my family came up, we always went to dinner, and I came and joined them, and then like the waitress or like waiter, they always ask like, how's the game? So definitely know who you are down there, and you just got to represent the city well.
So what was the first time or the first moment when someone came up to you and recognized you? What was that like? And does it stick in your memory, or is it kind of like one of those?
Like it happens every single day. Like the young kids always come up to you and always ask for photos and pictures, and it's always special because when I was a kid, I always dreamed of having that presence and having that inspiration, and whether it's like giving a puck to a fan in warm-ups, it's always one of my goals, just to make other people happy and motivating for them to be in my place one day. So it's just great to have this kind of platform, and I'm just gonna keep on doing what I'm doing.
So last couple questions here. This is starting to run out a bit. I'm running out of space, but what was your first game, like first OHL game like? So with Mississauga, what was that atmosphere?
It was at home. I remember my day at school that day, just thinking about the game the whole entire day. It was kind of hard to nap before the game, but yeah, I got to the rink and just like butterflies flying my stomach. It was both excitement and nervousness, and it was against Ottawa as well. So yeah, it was cool. Something else, something I always remember forever. Just getting introduced into the game and coming out of the fog and waving my stick to all the fans. It was a great game. We lost, but it was a great experience.
So, what was your so far? What is your favorite memory? Oh, again, it fell. What was your most favorite? Your favorite memory from your whole career so far?
My favorite memory would be probably my first goal. That was something else. That was probably one of the happiest days of my life. One of my biggest dreams come true is scoring a goal in the Ontario Hockey League. It's meant something to me, and also like reaching my milestone of playing 100 games. Like, not too many Americans get to that.
Oh yeah.
Get to that point, and yeah, just hopefully gonna reach 200 next season, and that's gonna be another memory for me. So hopefully, just keep on creating great memories and winning the championship for once.
So, what was the first your first thought when you heard the season was canceled? Was it like just like, God darn it, like why, or was it kind of like, just a moment of like just kind of despair or dread? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. So the night before, I was kind of just on my phone, and then I saw that the Jazz vs Thunder game was canceled because Rudy Gobert tested positive. So moments after that, the NBA suspended season, and I just texted my teammate like, "Whoa, like is the NHL next?" And so, of course, the day after, NHL suspended season, and kind of CHL had to follow suit due to the problem of the virus. And so season got canceled, and well, at that point, the season only got suspended, so there was still hope of playing the rest of the regular season. So we were thinking it'd only be 2 weeks. So I went home 2 days later after the announcement. Got home, and then saw the season was canceled a couple days after, and then the week after they announced the whole playoffs was canceled. So we had a whole team meeting on Zoom, just telling us that we had a great season, that we're probably going to have a get-together in the summer in Ottawa and have a big celebration for what we accomplished this season, because what we did was truly amazing, and could have been more amazing if the virus hadn't come and been this serious. So it's definitely sucks to end the season this way. Never envisioned that it'd end this way, but always got to look at the bright side, and just having a lot of time at home, developing my craft, and just having a big summer so I can have a breakout season my 4th year.
So while you're at home, and obviously quarantined, what do you do to keep yourself busy?
Yeah, so I went to Ice World my first day here, and then after that day, got shut down for 6 weeks. So I ordered a couple rollerblades, and so I've been rollerblading now around the neighborhood, smelling right tennis courts, and then my gym got canceled. My gym got shut down as well. So kind of working out at home now and just making sure I stay in shape.
What gym do you belong to?
The Arena Club.
All right, yeah.
The sports factory there. Yeah.
I'm assuming your parents have your a replica jersey of yours that they bought from either the team store or whatnot. What is it like to kind of see other people wearing your last name on their shirt or jersey?
Yeah. It's definitely another cool experience. Yeah, my whole family has jerseys. My brother, my sister, my parents, all the guys in my family just have Noah Varga jersey, and then my mom, she has a Mama Vargas jersey. It says Mama Vargas on the back, number 11, and then my aunt has Auntie Vargas on the back, number 11. So it's definitely cool seeing number 11 Varga on the back of the jersey. It's another dream come true for me.
So your old number with Mississauga was 67. How did you? Why did you have to change that coming over to Ottawa?
Yeah, the So I wore 67 my whole life because my birthday of June 7th, so just month's 7th day. So I just rocked that my whole career, and then once I got traded to Ottawa, trainer said, you'll wear 67 on the front of the jersey, but not the back of your jersey. So he gave me 3 numbers to choose from, which were 25, 5, and 11. So my best friend for the Steelheads, I was kind of joking around with him, Cole Schwinn, number 11. I was kind of joking around, like, I'm going to wear 11 now. And then soon, like 5 hours later, it's like, yeah, you can have 11. So I chose 11. Yeah, I kind of like the number. Kind of like it more than 67 now, so I might start to rock with 11 now.
That's awesome. Adam, thank you for coming on the podcast. It was great catching up with you, man. Unfortunately, the pod, we had to kind of end for today, but it's an honor to have you on here, having someone who's made it from Harford County, from Bel Air, Maryland. It's awesome chatting with you, man. And I hope you get that championship next year, you get that breakout year, and just keep on doing what you're doing, man. You're definitely an inspiration for a lot of people down here. Definitely great to see someone who, I used to play with for all of a year, but, see someone that I know that I used to play with, going, making it big. But, Adam, thank you for coming on to the podcast today. If you ever want to come on in the future, let me know. I'll be happy to have you back on. Hopefully when you're actually able to be present, due to quarantine being over. But Adam, thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate the support.
All right, man. It was good having you on, man. And hope to talk to you soon, man.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.